we will right away move to the next session, and for that particular session, I invite our beloved Deputy Director, Dr.G.Kumaresan sir. This particular session is going to be about Ph.D. regulations. This is the last session, but this is going to be of the most important to you all. So, to invite Professor Kumaresan for this particular talk, I request our Director Madam to welcome him with a bunch of flowers. So, welcome to CFR and welcome to this induction program. I know he's one of the coordinators, but I think as a resource person, we are very happy to have him on the dais. And he is one person you will be reaching out to many times during the next 3 years. 3 years. Over to you, sir.
Program, right, where you can perfectly followed, so that you need not face any unnecessarily troubles or issues, or sometimes this may delay the submission of your thesis process, right? So that's why this is very much important. Though it is available in our website, Center for Research website, it is available. You are all actually which comes under the regulations 2020, right? But my humble request to all of you that from this available PDF, this is available in PDF format in our website, you please download it and have a look and you read all the pages. It contains around 20 to 25 pages, not more than that. You go through all the pages, and also you refer the circulars, because our syndicate, that is the higher body of our university, syndicate is having the sole power to modify the regulations from time to time. So whenever there is a change in regulation or change in conditions, normally we usually give in the form of a circular. That circular usually we float in our website. You please read the circulars, and the latest circulars only which is available at the front page of web page. The old circulars, I mean the last year circular, right, and 2020 or 2019 circulars, these are all listed under archives, right? You please look at the archives section, and some circulars which are already floated, and you go through it, right? And you please understand the important conditions described in our regulations. So we normally follow the UGC regulations, right? As per UGC regulations 2016, our regulations actually framed, and even in UGC also, every time or frequently they change the certain conditions. You might have referred the recent articles issued by UGC chairman, and the UGC chairman recently revised a lot of PhD norms, like you know, to do PhD, PG is compulsory. PG is compulsory, right? But as per the latest announcement of UGC chairman, PG course which is not mandatory. Likewise, there are a lot of modifications issued by the UGC. It is available in the form of Gazette. By using that modification, we put those informations in our research board, right? Once the research board gives approval, that we will submit to the syndicate. Then the syndicate is the final authority to approve the modifications in the regulations. That finally we float in our Center for Research website. Okay, so there are around 20 plus class available in our PhD regulations. Okay, I skip, since the time limitation, I skip the information pertaining to our university. Okay, the last year, the recent convocation, there are around 1,813 scholars completed PhD in engineering, science and humanities, and also in the management field, right? So put together 15,289 scholars are completed in Anna University since the inception of Center for Research. So Center for Research commenced from 4th September 1978, right? So from this date and as on July 2022, so total count of scholars 15,000 plus completed their PhD, right? This information available in our website. Okay, this is the organization of our CFR. So the research board, that is the prime body here, right? The research board, that's comprising of Vice Chancellor, Registrar, of course the Director, and the external Director, Center for Academic Courses, and HODs, and external members. So the current research board, which contains external one member from IIT Madras and NITTR located at Taramani, and one member from Self-Finance Engineering College principal, right? So there are around 18 members in research board. So in the research board only normally we discuss the selection procedure of the PhD, right? And you are all selected based on the mark secured by you in written test and interview. The cutoff actually discussed in this research board meeting, right? So you are all scored the marks which is above the cutoff suggested by the research board. This cutoff usually vary from semester to semester based on the number of attendees. Then of course the Center for Research headed by Director Professor Umarani, the director of this center, and under the director presently there are 3 deputy directors, each deputy director looking the different activity. Myself taking care of submission of synopsis and the supervisor recognition and the RTI related queries, and Shobha madam looking the thesis related activities, and Soundarayani madam looking research center approval related activities taken care by the Soundarayani madam, and there are 2 superintendent and 2 assistant, and the AR section. Of course you are all know, see the AR, there are AR1, AR2, AR3, right? There are several section. AR1 which correspond to the admission section, like then if you belongs to the category of faculty of mechanical engineering, you will your informations taken care by certain AR section. So our office people clubbed under AR category before the synopsis process. After the synopsis process, our office people categorized into 2 segment, right? Then apart from that, computer wing, they are like what are all I mean the admission related, the submission of applications, floating of application, everything which is taken care by the computer wing. And here okay, see we are doing not only taking care of admission of a PhD and MS scholars. In addition that we are also doing the service of approving supervisor recognition, right? See after completion of your PhD, so you are settled in one of the colleges affiliated to Anna University. If you want to become supervisor, right, there are certain norms issued by the Center for Research. Those norms, whether it is correct or not, that is those process normally we check in our office. Once if it is correct, then there is a committee, that committee finally which gives the approval, so the applicant recognized as a supervisor. That work also we are doing. Currently there are in Anna University there are 5,000 plus supervisor approved by the Anna University, including self-finance engineering colleges. Then that is one door. Okay, see the supervisor and the right side of the scholar activities, left side the supervisor activity, the bottom side that is research center recognition. See like by default the 4 campuses of the university, government engineering colleges, constituent colleges, which is approved as a research center. Then the self-finance engineering colleges, if they want become approved research center, means they have to apply. They have to apply to Center for Research. So for which also there are certain norms suggested by our university, right? Once those norms are fully satisfied, then our Anna University will issue that college, that particular department approved as research center or a research recognized research department. Right? For example, some ex-college, affiliated colleges approach Center for Research to recognize as a research center. In the sense, in the department, like they can take PhD scholars. They can take a PhD scholar or MS scholar, then, but the condition is there must be a supervisor, approved supervisor, and the department must be approved department by the Center for Research. So we are doing 3 different activities: admission, then supervisor recognition activities, research center or research department recognized activities. These are all the 3 main activities done by Center for Research. Okay, and this is, I'm sorry, the title that is not e-governance. This is the flow chart of your PhD program. right? So all these process you need to complete before get to your PhD degree, right? Of course, you already done the first stage of process, PhD admission, and the first DC meeting. I hope many of you completed the first DC meeting. See, the moment when you get a provisional registration letter from Center for Research, within 3 weeks you must, your supervisor must conduct first doctoral committee. DC means doctoral committee meeting, right? So in that meeting only, where the doctoral committee meeting, it comprises of supervisor, he is the convener. Supervisor is the convener, and 2 doctoral committee members. If there is any joint supervisor also, he also becomes a part of a doctoral committee member, right? So the guide plus 2 members, that is called, these 3 persons are going to conduct a first doctoral committee meeting. In that meeting only, where your coursework normally suggested by in the committee, then the completion of, once the coursework assigned by the doctoral committee, you must complete this coursework within 2 years. Within 2 years, you must complete coursework. Then there is a condition suggested or imposed in our regulation that you must secure 7 CGPA minimum grade for these 4 coursework, 7 CGPA. Suppose if you there is a arrear. Suppose one of the scholar, right, got a U grade, that is the year U grade, right? As per our CFD regulation, there is a 2 attempt actually allowed. 2 attempt actually allowed, right? Suppose when the scholar completed all the coursework, but the scholar secured CGPA less than 7, there is a possibility of you can take additional subject suggested by your doctoral committee members, right? So in the sense, the earlier regulation before 2020, the CGPA requirement was only 6.5, but as per 2020, the CGPA, need of CGPA for coursework is 7 CGPA. So this is the 4th activity, that is a new activity introduced to this the fresh scholars who were joined in the year 2022, right? That is advisory committee meeting. AC means advisory committee. This is the new process introduced as per our recent research board meeting suggestion. Advisory committee means some expert member. Normally we get expert member from the department, concert department. So from the expert member panel, we select the expert member. The expert member conduct the meeting separately for each and every scholar along with the supervisor. Right, that this advisory committee meeting useful to streamline or converge your research scope or objective of your research work. So this meeting supposed to be finished before the conduct of comprehensive examination. Right? So once this advisory committee meeting over, then you need to present one seminar, open seminar, right? This is open to all. Anyone not only from your department, from any department, whether scholar or supervisor or outside member, anyone can attend the seminar, right? So in the seminar, whatever the queries raised by the attendees, right, you must be in a position to answer all the queries, right? Once it is over, then your supervisor will direct you to attend the comprehensive examination. That is the very foremost important activity, right? So this comprehensive examination, scholar should complete within 6 months from the coursework. Whenever the coursework results are declared, from the date, the last coursework, from the date, not more than 6 months, you should complete the comprehensive examination, right? So the comprehensive examination, either in the form of a written examination or oral examination, this is based on the convenience of the doctoral committee members. They may check the background knowledge of your proposed research or area, right? So if suppose if you fail to succeed in the comprehensive examination, right, the doctoral committee give the one more chance to complete your comprehensive examination, right? That comprehensive examination, the second time comprehensive examination, you should complete within 3 months time of the first comprehensive examination. But first comprehension you already you are not cleared the comprehensive examination. Cleared means DC member given the condition that not satisfactory. Examination not satisfactory. If it is so such comment given by the doctoral committee members, right, you need to attend a second time comprehensive examination. Suppose even in the second time, if you are not able to clear it, right, so your PhD registration program stands cancelled automatically as per the regulation, right? So this is one of the important step. Okay, see, once you complete the comprehensive examination, now there is a confirmation meeting, right? In the confirmation meeting where your provisional registration is confirmed in the confirmation meeting, right? So once, so this confirmation meeting has to be carried out whenever the scholar successfully finished the earlier stage of activity, I mean the comprehensive examination, because in the minutes of the confirmation meeting where there is a question whether the scholar completed comprehensive examination or not, right? So once if you done this comprehensive examination, so you need to complete the confirmation meeting, right? This meeting you should done within 2 months from the conduct of comprehensive examination, right? So suppose if you fail to follow those the time limit, what will happen, right? So your supervisor need to submit the reason letter for what reasons scholar not able to, like maybe the scholar personal reason, or maybe the reason with like the scholar supervisor may not available, right? You might have gone to the foreign university. There are some possible reasons. So the supervisor must submit the reason for the delay in conduct of all these activity. Then the director, based on the reason mentioned in the letter, the director will give the approval. Okay, the delay to conduct all these activity is approved, right? So the information, the Center for Research Director will issue the letter, the reason is accepted. Reason is accepted, right? Okay, so after the confirmation meeting, right, you need to give one more presentation, that is second open seminar, right? This seminar again, once as like the first open seminar, this is also open to all, right? So this meeting should conduct prior to the submission of your synopsis, right? So you know that the synopsis, that is once your guide gives green signal, okay, you have done excellent work, right? The enough publications, now you are ready to submit your synopsis, right? If it is so, right, before the conduct of synopsis meeting, you should give one more seminar, second open seminar, right? So then this the second open seminar, the attendees, whoever attended, those information you must produce. Your supervisor must produce to Center for Research. That is the evidence. You have your supervisor have conducted a seminar for your for his scholar, right? So then after the second open seminar, yes, synopsis meeting. Okay, now the question, when I can submit my synopsis, right? So because of the everyone desire to complete the PhD within the minimum period of time, right? That is every speaker, they wished you, all of you, to complete your PhD within the short duration of the time. What is the short duration, right? The short duration, actually 2 years. The 2 years for full-time scholars, the full-time scholar from the background of engineering and technology, right? Then agriculture, whoever registered PhD in engineering discipline, and technology discipline, right? They are eligible to submit, they are eligible to conduct a synopsis meeting, right, after the completion of 2 years. Suppose your 2 years are going to finish today, right? Tomorrow you are eligible to conduct synopsis meeting, provided the scholar must have one published article with published article in the journal listed in Center for Research website. That article must be a full-length research article that must be published in regular issue. You got it, right? Okay, see, you want to conduct a synopsis meeting before 2 years. Well, there is a norm, right? So after the completion of 1.9 years, you are eligible to conduct or submit synopsis, provided you must have 2 published article. So the PhD is 1.9 years. 1.9 years for full-time scholar. For full-time scholar, the two from the background of engineering and technology, ENT. Suppose the scholar who are doing research as a full-time mode, but in science and humanities, right? For them, the minimum duration, which is 3 years. 3 years for S&H background, 2 years for engineering and technology background. Okay, see, even strictly speaking, 3 years means you need, scholar record 1 paper. Right, for full-time scholar from science and humanities background, right, can conduct a synopsis meeting once they complete a 2.9, 2 years 9 months, 2 year 9 months, provided they must have 2 published article in regular issue, right? Okay, coming to part-time scholar, the right side, you can see part-time scholar from engineering and technology, again 3 years, 1 paper, but 2.9 years means 2 paper, like 3.9 to 6 years for S&H background. Okay, and the scholar registered in MBA, right? So the number of minimum duration, maximum duration is 6, there is no doubt at all, right? But the minimum duration for MBA it depends on about the scholar, the background, in which category the scholar completed undergraduate, right? In engineering background or science and humanities background, accordingly the number of years, minimum years will vary. You got it, right? Okay, that is the condition. Okay, see the 2 years, so 2 years for full time, 3 years for part time, for engineering faculty, engineering and technology scholars, 3 years for S&H. That is the question. See, and at this point, I want to say, see, when I was doing a PhD, like I met my UG classmate. So he asked me, I said, I am doing a PhD. So at that time I registered at IIT Madras. So he said, PhD na how many years it may require? I said, 3 வருஷம் ஆகும்டா அப்படினு நான். ஓ 3 வருஷம்னா இது ஒரு BA and BSc மாதிரி அப்படினா. இல்லடா இல்ல 4 வருஷம் ஆகணும். ஓ 4 வருஷம்னா அப்ப இது ஒரு BE மாதிரி அந்த கோர்ஸ். Like many of even for like the engineering background student, they do not know, right, what is the duration. There is no duration here, but there is a minimum duration. Right? So whether it is 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 years, 8 years, that also happens to the scholar. These are all depends on their bad, like whether it is good time, your good time, or bad time, right? So there are a lot of factors. Because there are some the process which is out of our control. When you submit your article in a good journal, right? For me, one of my paper, it took, you believe me or not, it took nearly 2.5 years to get acceptance. It took 2.5 years. For some of the papers, it took for me only 3 months. The same Q1 journal, right? So the same journal, but sometimes it may take more time, right? These are all, it depends on, right, luck. Right? So that is one of the reason, because see the minimum requirement is a paper. So normally here we see the published article or one granted patent, granted not published patent, granted patent, right? So okay, if the publication and the patent, if it takes too much of time, right, we can't do anything. Even if our supervisor willing to complete your PhD as quickly as possible, if a paper, if it is not published, right, we can't do anything, right? Okay, coming to once the synopsis meeting over, then you need to submit your thesis within 3 months from the conduct of synopsis meeting. Within 3 months. See, once you submit synopsis, right, you must submit all the documents to our center, right? We will verify the documents. What documents? Whether the paper published in regular issue or the journal listed in our website, whether it is a special issue, whether it is full length research article or review article, whether it is a short communication. One of the scholar asked, what happened, short communication, letter, right, a special section. We won't accept any paper, right, unless the paper published under the category of regular issue, that too research article, not review article. Not, you may ask, sir, review article if it is not accepted, yeah sir, you list lo kuduthirkeenga. But there are some journals available in our website, right? Those journal will consider only the review articles, right? Naanga enna solrana, right? You need at least one full length research article. You can go for 2 publication, 3 publication, 4, right? N number of publication, doesn't matter, right? Out of these n number of publication, one paper must come from regular issue research article, right? Second paper maybe the short communication, well we consider, right? Letters, well we consider, right? Nothing wrong, but one paper should meet out this requirement. Okay, so once so we check all these synopses and also we check the plagiarism. We check the plagiarism involved in your synopsis and your published article. Again you may ask question, sir, journal publish panita, right? Why you are checking, sir? That is the burden of journal, right? The journal should take care of all the this kind of, whether the paper contains the plagiarism or not. Why you are checking once again? Yes, we are checking because we follow UGC regulation. As per UGC regulation, right, you believe me or not, if you claim your article for your synopsis submission, that article contains a plagiarism more than what it is suggested by UGC. UGC clearly says that, right, the supervisor salary, one increment should cut because of the plagiarism, right? Beyond, if the plagiarism, okay, what is acceptable level? Only 10%, right? Only 10%, 10 to 40%, right? So UGC says, supervisor you cut one increment. Suppose if the plagiarism goes more than 40, less than 60, right? So it says, UGC says that 2 increment, you cut 2 increment, right? 2 increment and more than that, அவரை வந்து ஒரு 3 வருஷத்துக்கு சூப்பர்வைஸ் பண்ண விடாதீங்க. That is a condition, right? Because that is a serious issue. The plagiarism, that is a serious issue, right? So there are certain penalties given by the UGC. So these are all we'll check. We check in your paper and in your synopsis whether your article should free from plagiarism, right? I mean not free from plagiarism. Plagiarism must be in the acceptable level, within 10%, right? That is the acceptable level. Okay, once it is over, then you will get intimation from Center for Research that your synopsis is approved. Your synopsis is approved. The moment when you get such a signal from Center for Research, right, you will get mail communication from our side, right? And you need to submit a thesis within 3 months. Within 3 months from the conduct of synopsis meeting, right? Again we will check plagiarism in your thesis, right? Again there is a penalty structure suggested by UGC, right? Your thesis also scanned, right? There is a software available. Your guide know very well. Your guide know very well how to use the software, because that privilege which is given only to the supervisor, how to check the plagiarism, right? So you can feel free to ask your supervisor, sir, I want to check, I have prepared article, right? I want to check my article, like whether it is free of plagiarism or not. You please you check it, sir. Like that you can request your supervisor. So supervisor having his own login credential, using that credential where you can check your plagiarism, right? Okay, then once the thesis also like accepted by our Center for Research, like we check the content, I mean the outline of the thesis, because normally we suggested certain guidelines how to prepare your thesis, right? So we check all the guidelines, whether the scholar fulfilled the guidelines accordingly as per the norm suggested by the CFR, whether the scholar prepared a thesis or not. We check, right? And it will take a minimum 1 month period of time, right? And finally you will get a green signal from CFR that your thesis which is as per the norms, you have fulfilled all the conditions. So now your thesis will be sent to 2 examiner, one Indian examiner, one foreign examiner, right? So if there are 4 the examiner evaluate your thesis, so based on the content, based on the quality of your work, the examiner will give this thesis is highly recommended, right? That is the one outcome of your thesis. Then the second, that is the B category, that is A category, highly recommended. B category is recommended, right, recommended. There are some minor mistakes. The scholar has to carried out those mistakes. That is the second category. Third category, right, this thesis has like a lot of work, additional work to be carried out, and the scholar should carry out the additional work and resubmit the synopsis, thesis, resubmit the thesis, right. Are you getting my point? If it is so, if you get the C category report, right, you must carry out the suggestions given by the examiner, and once the suggestions carried out in your revised thesis, the thesis once again will be sent back to examiner. The examiner will go through your thesis once again, and if the examiner satisfied, okay, all my queries carried out are rectified by the scholar successfully, he may give recommended or highly recommended. The D category, that is rejected, right, rejected by Indian examiner 2 times. See, suppose either Indian or foreign examiner reject your thesis, right. So what will happen? So your thesis will be sent to one more examiner. If the third examiner also reject your thesis, your PhD program stands cancelled, right. So this is okay. So once if the examiner gives like recommended or highly recommended, right, okay, see, then supervisor will conduct the meeting, will conduct the oral examination, right, where in which at the end of you need to present your research outcome to the audience, a public audience, right. So at the end you will be declared as you have successfully completed the PhD, okay, right. So this is the structure. This is the structure. Accordingly you can plan. Okay, see, the coursework, coming to the point, the coursework. So how many coursework? 4 coursework. Minimum 4 coursework. Minimum 4 coursework by all these, when you add the credit of all the coursework, it should come 12 credit. Minimum 12 credit. Right? Maximum you can do, so depends on your interest. Right? Minimum 12 credit. 7 CGPA. Recently our center introduced a new suggestion that out of 4, 2 coursework can be taken from NPTEL, right. So this facility you can avail of it, because the problem here is like if you feel that the coursework related to your research area, if it is not available in the concerned PG department, right, many of the scholars they face the problem where I can choose the coursework, but that is more relevant, to my research category, like. So we have received a lot of complaints, so for which where we have introduced online courses, you can take not more than 2 online courses, NPTEL courses, right. That is the point with regard to, okay, see, okay, these you can refer these link where you can download our regulation. Okay, all are each one which describes about the different terminology of this PhD program. Okay, the important point, okay, I said, okay, extension. So the class 11 which speaks about extension of your PhD program, because for many of the scholars they may not be able to complete the program within 6 years. Within 6 years, right? So we give like additional 1 year to complete your PhD, but within the 1 year you should complete your synopsis, right? If you complete your synopsis, but you are not in a position to submit thesis, right? 6 to 7 years, we give additional 6 months time, 7.5 years. So the last 6 months which is given, only once you have completed your synopsis at the end of 7th year, then only we give additional 6 months. There are a lot of information, so okay, all are which is available in our website, you can go through it. Okay, this is the similarity, the act of plagiarism, we have issued this circular on, but this is not available in our regulation. As I said, the regulation right will change from time to time, norms issued by the UGC, right. So those changes normally we issue in the form of a circular. As per the circular, there are 4 levels of the plagiarism. 0 means you are in safe limit, right. Level 1 10 to 40, level 2 40 to 60. Okay, if it is thesis, so your thesis contains plagiarism more than 10, less than 40, right. So we return your thesis, you have to wait for 6 month time. During the 6 month time, you must modify your thesis and you need to submit after 6 months. Likewise, this circular which deals about the plagiarism. Okay, you go through it. That's all. Sorry, due to time limitation, I am not able to discuss in-depth information with regard to the regulation, but you are always welcome. Our center is open from morning 10 to evening 5:30, right? You are always welcome to clarify your doubts before the start of your new activity, right? Okay, wish you all the very best. Do you have any one or two questions? That's all.
Thank you, sir. I know that this is a very vast topic again, but we would like to acknowledge your efforts with a small token of appreciation. I request our director, madam, to please give this book to Kumaresan, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.